Oh, Jenna Ortega in Scream 6. Wow. Welcome to Mirror Domain's Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines. And indeed, this is a live news show for movie fans, where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day. And hey, we got a big day today. Scream 6 opens up in the theater, so we'll be talking about that. I'll give you guys my review for it. It will be, don't worry, I'm not going to spoil anything for you. I'll just give you my honest, spoiler-free review today. Tomorrow we'll talk about some spoilers, though, for sure. We got some Star Wars headlines, and it's the weekend of the Oscars, so we'll go through the nominations, and I'll give you guys my picks for this weekend for the Oscars. And we got some other headlines there that we can take a look at. But we start off today's show by talking about Jenna Ortega. Not necessarily in Scream 6, but it looks like she's being eyed for Beetlejuice 2 that would reunite her with Tim Burton. Now, there has been talks that Beetlejuice 2 has been trying to get off the ground now for some time. I don't put much stock in it, but, Michael Keaton is returning to these properties because he's going to be returning as Batman, which we watched yesterday, by the way. I just got to clean up some copyright issues with it. It's the second movie this week I got to deal with copyright issues. I mean, come on. Anyway, Beetlejuice 2. Multiple sources say to the Hollywood Reporter, that Jenna Ortega is looking to stay with the Tim Burton family. Warner Bros. Is not available to comment just yet, but the news comes as Ortega hits theaters with Scream 6. So, there was like that Beetlejuice Goes to Hawaii or something like that. There were talks. Now that Alec Baldwin is kind of like in hot water because of his lawsuit there, that Rust shooting. Gina Davis, I think she could come back. And of course, Winona Ryder could come back. I don't know what this movie would be about, though. Guys, this is just very preliminary stuff. If Warner Bros. Hasn't even said anything about it, if Tim Burton hasn't even said anything about it, I wouldn't read too much into it, but it does seem like that seems to be the early buzz that we may be getting another Beetlejuice movie with Jenna Ortega, and you can't, couldn't do any worse than Jenna Ortega. Like when you see Scream 6 this weekend, you'll be like, her acting is just, you can just feel it's tangibly, she's got that extra gear in her that makes you go, oh yeah, I want to watch more of her. Anyway, talking about that, let's get into what's opening up this weekend at the theaters, including Scream 6. It is, I saw it last night, and I saw it at a fan screening. Now, I don't know if they have a fan screening for today, but let's just take a look at what's being listed here. I saw it in a 3D version, guys. The 3D, it's post-conversion 3D. I had to see it because that's the only version that they were playing on Thursday night previews. So I had to see it in 3D. It doesn't warrant it, guys. You can go see it in the regular stuff. 65 opens up. Yeah, I was going to go see it last night. I was ready to go at 9:30, and then I was like, nah, I'm tired, guys. That would have been the third movie I watched yesterday. So I was kind of like, everybody's going to be going to see Scream anyway. So I'm going to go see 65 later on today. And, the early buzz for it is kind of like, saying that it's a little underwhelming. So, like, when I saw that was kind of like the nail in the coffin for me to go see it yesterday. I'm still excited to see this movie. The runtime is like an hour and 30 minutes, so I'm excited to see this dinosaur movie with Adam Driver. I'm seeing it at 4:30 today, so my straight out of the theater reaction will just be after 7:30ish by the time I come out and get home and everything like that. So, we'll be doing our spoiler review for Scream tomorrow, and we'll be doing our normal review for 65 tomorrow on tomorrow morning's show. So, go take a look at that. Let's see what else is in the theaters besides 65. Champions. Oh, yes, that Woody Harrelson movie where he reunites from the one of the directors from Kingpin is going to be directing this basketball movie where he happens to help a bunch of what's the word here? I'm probably going to mess this up. Is it disabled people? Um, Play basketball and compete. So he's like a disgraced NBA coach that goes in and helps them. I like the trailers. Again, it's one of those questionable, touchy subject matters. It's the third big movie opening up this weekend, and I expect it to not do so well because it's going to get overshadowed by Scream, and then people who are still interested in seeing that dinosaur movie are going to go out and see that. So it's going to be like third place. I hope it places in the top 5. I really do. And what's this? Mummies. Never even heard of that. Mummies is out. Creed 3, second weekend. I think that's going to drop down to maybe, well, I don't know if Champions can make it to the third spot. Champions may get into like the 5th spot. I think it's going to go, I think the rankings for this weekend will go Scream, number 1, 65, number 2, Creed 3 will be number 3, and then I think Ant-Man and the Wasp will be number 4, and then maybe Champions. That's what I'm thinking. Ant-Man and the Wasp is still playing. Cocaine Bear. Avatar's still playing. Wow. Puss in Boots and the Jesus Revolution. Mitran Dan Chada. Some Punjabi movies playing. Yeah, there are some foreign releases for sure. Mehusum Meritium, Malayalam movie. Martyr or Murderer, Filipino movie. Wow. Okay. Filipinos are getting in there. Good. There's that Mummies movie again. I have no idea what the heck that is. Let's pull that up. Vash. I don't even know what language that is. Mitrand and Cheetah, more Punjabi stuff. Anything else? Roman Cham. Yeah, so that's only playing at night though. Oh, and to Judah Main Makar. Okay. Well, hey, there's lots of movies out there. What's this Mummies? Sean Bean. Okay. Mummies is a fun adventure of 3 ancient Egyptian mummies who live in an underground and secret society hidden under ancient Egypt. Okay. All right. I never even saw the trailers for it. But that's what's opening up this weekend, guys. I think everybody's going to go out and see Scream. And let me get set up here for my review. Byford the Hobbit says Jenna Ortega was in Fallout was amazing. Fallout. Yeah. Okay. Let's get this set up. James. Oh, guys. Hey, go over to the community tab. You'll see like our weekly schedule posted up there. And we've been holding mostly true to that, actually. So it's been good. Community tab on the Mirror Domains channel. Go over there and you'll be able to see what's coming out during the week and stuff. And it's been a really good week so far. So, whoops. I got to turn off the chat capture. And we'll be ready to rock and roll. We'll be ready to rock and roll for this review. Scream 6, guys. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it, James. Scream 6 is out in theaters now, guys, and are you going to go out and see it? I recommend that you do. I really enjoyed it. Scream 6 comes in just over 2 hours, just under, like 2 hours and 3 minutes, but the synopsis reads, the next installment, the survivors of the ghost face killings leave Woodsboro behind and start fresh in a new chapter in New York City. Well, yeah, we saw from the trailers that this takes place in New York City. They're pretty much making you aware right up off the bat that, yeah, this is New York for sure. And the movie does a good job of laying out the landscape there, showcasing some aspects of New York City. Now, we know that Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega return in this, but we also have Gail Weathers, Courtney Cox coming back in this. But we got some new players in there as well. That the new cast does fairly good in this. Of course, Kirby comes back. You know, everybody who knows me knows that Kirby's one of my favorite because, yeah, and it's really cool how she works in. Now, I'm not going to spoil anything here, guys. So I'm not going to explain what these characters are in there. It just other than what we kind of learned from like the synopsis of the trailers and such, right? Jasmine Savoy Brown and Mason Gooding were back in this. They were the two twins that survived from Scream 5. that we just watched the other day too here on the channel. I recommend that you go check that out. Mason Gooding, he was a real standout in this one. He was kind of just like that jock type in the fifth one, right? He was kind of meh. But he does a few things in this movie where it's kind of like, not only do I like you as an actor, but I like you as a character in this movie. I like what they did with his character in this. Jasmine Savoy Brown as the Randy kind of knowledge expert of how the movies work. Some of her acting was a little meh, but that's okay. You're watching it because you like to watch these characters on screen, right? The new cast, Jack Champion, he was Spider, and wasn't he? Is that who he was in the Avatar movies? Or am I thinking that wrong? Josh Segura, Liana Liberato. Yeah, the new cast. Dermot Mulroney plays a cop there in the city. You're going to be expecting him to pick up like the Dewey role? Not necessarily, but the new cast does fit in, and it's just kind of like, I don't want to spoil too much talking about them because it's just, they play into that. They play into, oh, is it going to be that character? Oh, it's definitely that character. And it does a good job of putting up these red herrings and setting up your expectations and subverting them. Scream 6 does a great job of subverting expectations, and it should be a masterclass on how you do that, Rian Johnson. Yeah. I just want to confirm that this Jack Champion was Spider in the Avatar movies, and yes, that was. He is going to be Spider in the Avatar movies. So he's in Scream 6. Very intriguing cast, and the runtime goes by like that. Each Scream movie, as we've been watching them leading up to this, has had like an opening scene in it, right? That kind of establishes us in this universe and sets the tone. Scream 6 opening scene has got to be probably, well, nothing beats the opening scene with Drew Barrymore, but this one establishes right up off the bat that they're doing something different here. They're changing things up, and they do something in it where it's just like, okay, well, you are really doing something different here. I want to see where this goes. And then it's just kind of like hooks you in, and it's just kind of like, yeah. I saw it last night in the Thursday night previews, a fan event where they gave us a poster. That's kind of a cool poster, right? It's got like the stab movies here on the side, on the billboards and stuff. So, yeah. I got that. That was kind of cool. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to have a fan event, but if you get a chance, hey, little side things like that makes it pretty cool in my books. Let's go over to the tomato meter and see what people said and see if I agree with them. As of right now, 11 a.m. on Friday morning, 79% by the critics, 93% by the audience. Yeah, and the audience is going to like this a lot more because you got the horror fans, you got the Scream fans, you got the Jenna Ortega fans. So it's going to be like a grouping of people coming out to see this movie. So let's just see what some of the snapshot reviews are and see if I agree with them. Let's take a look at a good one here from Minneapolis Star Tribune. Scream 6 cycles through nearly the entire cast as possibilities for whodunit. But when we finally know it, the solution is both improbable and entertaining. Improbable? Improbable? Is that spoilerish? I don't know. But the reveal, they're driving towards something, and you're like, okay, we have all these fan theories online and stuff. Could it possibly be this? They told us that certain things were not going to happen in this. But were they just lying? And it's kind of like, are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? Oh my God. Oh my God. That's what you're going to get with Scream 6. And you're going to find that it's just overall a fun ride. Okay. Let's take a look at some of the bad reviews, negative reviews here from the Wall Street Journal. With its ho-hum script and flat direction, Scream 6 seems to exist only to fulfill a grim corporate duty. What? So he's talking about business behind the scenes and stuff like that. Now, get out of here with that. Let's take a look at another bad review here from Art House Film. Set in New York City, Scream 6 fails to make a brand new start of it. No, it doesn't. Guys, as I said, Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera, you know that from the last movie, it was established that they kind of like, they're the new main characters. They passed the torch successfully, I felt, from Sidney Prescott to them. And Melissa Barrera in this, as the older sister there, wow. She does a couple of really cool stuff in this. Because if you know her past and you know her lineage, they play into that. And as I said here, this guy, he does some very interesting stuff in there. I dug it. And Jenna Ortega, yeah, there's a couple scenes with her in there where there's like some drama. And you can tell that she's just on that level, different level of acting. She's got it. Kirby's back in this, and they explain what you need to know on how Kirby's back in this and why she's back in this. Really cool explanations for that. They don't leave anything unturned. Let's just say that they explain everything in here. So, guys, without spoiling too much more about it, go out and enjoy it if you can. Now, that's what I say. The rankings on the tomato meter, don't worry too much about the critics right now. Pay attention to the audience score, I would say. Scream 6, for me, I would probably give this movie right now, because I want to go out and see it again. And it's rare that a movie does that to me, because it's got a rewatchability factor in there where you're just kind of like, okay, now I want to go back and see it again because I want to see if they did this properly, kind of thing, right? A little bit like the early Shyamalan movies where you're like, okay, now that we know certain things, I want to go back in and see what happened. And it's brutal. It's very brutal. The brutality in this is shocking. If you thought The Knife in the Throat and the fifth one was really gory, it's going to be kind of like that, guys. Yeah, they weren't lying about that. And pay attention tomorrow here on the channel Mirror Domains, because we will be talking about spoilers tomorrow. I want to give people a day or so to go out and check this out, and I'll post my spoilers for this tomorrow. So come join us here on the channel Mirror Domains, and if you look in the community tab, you can see our weekly schedule posted there. So on the Horror Weekly at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning, we'll be talking about Scream 6 spoilers, full tilt. Come join us and let me know what you thought about Scream 6. There's a thumbs up in my book. I give it an 8 out of 10. There you go. An 8 out of 10 for Scream 6, man. I want to go back and check it out for sure. Is there a post-credit scene? One last question there. Hey, do you need to stick around? Does it have a post-credit scene? Yes, it does. Is it anything major that sets up the next movie? Wow. I don't even want to spoil that for you guys, but there is one. So think about Captain America. That's my only clue. There you go. Scream 6. Go check that one out. You're watching Mirror Domains. I'll see you next time. Yeah, good movie, man. Great movie. It's a worthy installment of the franchise for sure. Worthy 100%. I want to watch. I want to watch it again. I wonder what they do with Kirby too. Hayden Panettiere, phenomenal, very phenomenal. It's really cool too how they worked her into, because you're just like, how did she survive? How did she survive? Don't worry, they explain it. They explain it full out, and that's not spoiling anything. It's just one of those movies that's kind of like, yeah, cool, man. All right. Yeah, it's hard to talk about that one without spoiling, because it is kind of like a whodunit of stuff like that. All right, let's talk about some Disney Star Wars headlines. Yeah, there's a couple of headlines this week from Star Wars and Disney, and some of them popped, and I want to take a look. Disney admits Star Wars movie problems. Yeah, there's like some lawsuits with like the Acolyte producer getting fired and breach of contract and stuff. I don't want to get too much into that. That's kind of not my bag. But Bob Iger, he's back as the CEO, and he's wanting to take it in a new direction. We got the cancellations of Kevin Feige's Star Wars movie. We got the cancellation of Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron movie. That really bums me out. It truly bums me out. Um, it sucks. I really wanted that Patty Jenkins Rogue Squadron movie, but it seems like they're gonna hopefully put down a plan, map things out, learn how all of these movies will connect with each other. Yeah, I'm guessing that the Rogue Squadron movie was not going to be connected to anything. It was just going to be there. And Kevin Feige's movie was probably going to be the same, which means it was also going to be the same for Rian Johnson's trilogy, which is probably not going to happen. It's just kind of like you hear the complaints out there of some of the pundits saying that Star Wars is a big universe. It can do a whole bunch of things. Well, yes, it can. And Mandalorian and Andor are proving that, because Andor is so much totally different, tonally, not totally, tonally different than Mandalorian. You can have fun like that. And none of them are about Jedis and the Force, right? But the movies, I think you have to. But anyway, let's see what Iger said here. Solo was a little disappointing to us. He'll concede. Oh, a little disappointing. It was majorly. You know what? Solo was one of those things where I wanted to see the original cut. I wanted to see where it was going to be too over the top. I wanted to see that version of Solo. Anyway, it gave us pause just to think maybe the cadence was a little too aggressive. And so we decided to pull back a bit. Well, you haven't had a movie since Rise of Skywalker, guys. What do you mean pull back? We're going to make sure that when we make one, it's the right one. So we are being very careful here. So it seems like Iger has kind of pulled the plug on this, right? Where Kathleen Kennedy had pressed the button on some of these projects. Now Iger's come in and said, no, okay. We've learned from, hopefully Iger's learned from the mistakes that, he wanted, like, Iger, everybody blames Kathleen Kennedy for Star Wars 7, 8, and 9 being rushed and not being all planned out. But it was Iger that pushed the button for that. And not a lot of people are going to tell you that. A lot of people are going to miss the train on that one. It was Iger that really pushed Star Wars 7 to be out before everybody. He was the one that was rushing the script because they wanted more time to develop the three of them. But he said, no, got to get it out, got to get it out. So that's more Iger than it was Kathleen Kennedy. And a lot of people, they don't tell you that when they're talking about this, because they like to paint Iger and Kathleen Kennedy as some kind of saint for some reason. I don't understand it, but yeah, you see that they're going to change things up. And as I said, if you watch some of my shorts along the way, you've seen that. I want them to take things on a slower pace, plan things out, map things out where you want to go. They don't have to be connected to the Skywalker lineage at all, but I would like to see some Force users. I would like to see a Sith story, and we're going to get that with the Acolyte, right? So the movies, Old Republic or something like that, don't come out and tell me that it's too inside Star Wars, Kathleen Kennedy. Don't come out and tell me that, we got to appeal to the wider audience. No, you don't have to. And they haven't realized that yet, and hopefully they will. Star Wars 7 was going to make $1 billion regardless, because you had Han, Luke, and Leia back. It was regardless of the story. If it was just the three of them sitting inside the Millennium Falcon talking to each other, that movie would have made $1 billion easily. Anyway, Byford the Hobbit there in live chat says, Solo was made by the directors of Spider-Verse animation film, but then replaced by Ron Howard. Yeah, that's what I wanted to see, what they were trying to do with it. And I heard the complaints that the acting was too hammy and they were making it too slapstick. But it's like, at least it would have been different. At least it would have been different. That's what I wanted to check out. One other Star Wars headline from Jon Favreau here. Favreau has weighed in on what's going on here. And he was talking about the original theatrical cuts. So it's kind of like, what? Favreau is sadly right about Star Wars or theatrical cuts. He said that the original Star Wars trilogy theatrical cuts aren't needed in the current landscape of the franchise. So that's like that's without all the special edition stuff, right? Not needed. Well, let's see. What What was really added in the special editions that changed the story? Not much, other than seeing Jabba in A New Hope and then putting in Boba Fett there in New Hope. It didn't really change that much, did it? Theatrical cuts. And there's some minor things like some audio changes, like in Attack of the Clones and stuff like that. They added in some screaming from Anakin's mother. Whatever. A few changes that I would have liked. You should have put in Liam Neeson's voice at the end of Revenge of the Sith. You should have done that. Lucas didn't want to do it though. It was in the book. You know at the end when Yoda's meditating there and Bail Organa comes in and says, "We make contact with Obi-Wan Kenobi." That's when he was talking with Qui-Gon. It would have been nice to see, but I got my copies of the theatrical releases. We know what they are. I know people want them. It's not that big of a deal. Theatrical cuts, Favreau, taking things in a new direction. You couldn't get a better person to have this under the helm. Actually, now that I got Disney Plus, I hear that there are some other different alterations from. I got the Blu-ray versions, so I don't. I know that they're different on the Disney Plus streaming service. So maybe I'll have to watch them. Hey, yeah. In fact, we will be doing our next new franchise movies. We may go back and watch the Star Wars movies, and we'll be watching them from Disney Plus so that I can find out the differences. Maybe we'll be doing that, guys. Maybe we'll be doing that. Okay, let's have some fun. It's the Oscars weekend, guys. It's the Oscars. So, Sunday, I will be doing a live stream on Sunday for the Oscars, and not through the entire show, but probably around the last hour, I will put it on, and we will go through the scorecards, which we're going to do right now. We're going to do my picks for what is going to win, and we'll see where we were ranked, how many picks we got right, and stuff like that. And let's just go through it right now. Let's have some fun. Okay. For best sound, I'm not going to read off all the categories, guys. I'm just going to tell you what I think is going to win. For best sound, I think Top Gun Maverick's going to win that one. So that's my vote. Out of All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, Batman, Elvis. Elvis could win, but my pick is Top Gun Maverick. What's next? Best costume design, Babylon, Black Panther, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. I think I'm going to put Elvis on that one, guys. Elvis. So hopefully you guys have filled out in your pools or if your picks. Let me know what your picks are. So my pick is going to be Elvis for best costume. And best cinematography, All Quiet on the Western Front, Bardo, Elvis, Tar, and Empire of Light. Cinematography. Oh, God, this one's going to be tough. I want to say All Quiet on the Western Front. Tar does have some good cinematography, it does. But some of those action scenes... Elvis is so good, too. Elvis, towards the end there, oh my God, Baz Luhrmann. I'm going to pick All Quiet on the Western Front. Best production design. Okay, now, Avatar and the Way of Water is a cartoon, so I'm not going to say that. Babylon, no. Oh, production design. Elvis. Elvis had some great production design. Fabelmans, meh. Let's say Elvis for production design. Yeah, let's give it to that one. Best short film, guys. I don't know any of these, so I'm just going to pick Ostrich. There you go. Oh no, I accidentally picked the Flying Sailor. There it is. I don't know the shorts. Best visual effects. So you got All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, The Batman, Wakanda Forever, and Top Gun Maverick. I think I'm going to give it to Avatar because that's the number one reason why you would want to go see that movie. That's the reason why I went to see it, because of the visual effects. So there you go. My pick for best visual effects will be Avatar, but I wouldn't be upset if Top Gun Maverick got it, and I wouldn't be upset if All Quiet on the Western Front got it. Okay, best film editing, Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Tar, and Top Gun Maverick. Well, I don't think it's going to be Elvis because, well, actually it could be. You know why it could be Elvis? Because I found the editing in the beginning of Elvis so jarring. Like it went every 4 seconds there was like a new shot. You didn't have a chance to get settled. It was so hyper. It took it out of me. Banshees of Inisherin was tight. Top Gun Maverick, editing down all those flight sequences. That's my vote. Because they had over 8,000 hours of footage, right? And to cut down those editing scenes for the flying sequences, my vote's there. Top Gun Maverick for that one. Best makeup and hairstyling, not Elvis. Tom Hanks, no. Whale, I want to say maybe. Oh, ooh, ooh, ooh. What do we do for this one, James? I'm gonna give it to the. I'm gonna give it to All Quiet on the Western Front. I know the whale, the fat suit and stuff, but no, I'm gonna give it to Elvis. No, I don't know. I don't know, guys. Yeah, okay, I'll give it to Elvis. Hairstyling, makeup, and hairstyling goes to Elvis. Okay, what's next? Best international feature film. All Quiet on the Western Front. That's pretty much a lock right now. If RRR was there, RRR, I would have given it to that. But All Quiet on the Western Front, I think that one's a gimme for the international feature film. Best short film, live action, guys. I don't know. Let's give it to An Irish Goodbye in honor of our Glass Vikings there. Okay, so best documentary short. I have no idea. My God. Let's say The Elephant Whisperers. So that's a crapshoot on that one, right? Best documentary feature. Let's say All Beauty and the Bloodshed. No, Nalvani for some reason. Yeah, there we go, Nalvani. Best original score. All Quiet on the Western Front. Banshees of Inisherin. Everything Everywhere All at Once. Fablemans. Oddly enough, I'm going to give it to Everything Everywhere All at Once. Because the soundtrack worked for that too. And when we watched Banshees of Inisherin there the other day too, I think that has a possibility to win original score as well. All Quiet on the Western Front, that's possible too. But for some reason, I think it's going to be Babylon. Let's moronically put Babylon, because I think they want to give Babylon something. Not to. Oh, sorry. What's this? Best original song. Applause. Lady Gaga, Rihanna. Everything Ever. I'm giving it to Natu Natu. RR&R is my pick. Best animated feature goes to Pinocchio for sure, hands down. Puss in Boots would be up there as a contention, and I'm going to put Turning Red. If Turning Red is on Disney Plus, then that's going to be in the poll for next week for our animated film. Sea Beast, I know I should give that because people from the city area that I live in made that one. So, fascinating. What's next? Best adapted screenplay. All Quiet on the Western Front, Glass Onion, Living, Top Gun Maverick. Adapted screenplay. Women Talking. Yeah, no. That's the one. It could be All Quiet on the Western Front, but I'm rooting for Women Talking. Best original screenplay. Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fablemans, Tar, and Triangle of Sadness. Now, I think this is... I think this is the only one of the big ones that Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to win for screenplay, because it's just so bizarre, and the way that they crafted things. Because when we get into these bigger categories, you'll see why. Best Supporting Actor is going to go to Kiwi Kwan. I would love if Brendan Gleeson got it, or even Barry Keoghan. That would be cool. But I think Kiwi Kwan. Best Supporting Actress. Everyone would want to say Angela Bassett, but Jamie Lee Curtis won it. So I'm going to put my money on her. What's next? Best Actor. Austin Butler, Colin Farrell, Brendan Fraser, Paul Mescal, Bill Nye. Guys, I'm going to give this to Brendan Fraser. I know that he's been going down in the polls. Austin Butler's been great. He was great. Colin Farrell was awesome. You know my thoughts about that. but I'm still going to give it to Brendan Fraser. Best Actress: Kate Blanchett, Ana de Armas, Andrea Riseborough, Michelle Williams. So it's down between Michelle Yeoh and Kate Blanchett. And Michelle Yeoh's got the chance. She does. Kate Blanchett, as much I like Tar, it was long, but it was standard. You know, it was masterfully done, but it was standard. There wasn't any big, huge scene in it that made you go, wow. It was just a collective wow for Kate Blanchett. Michelle Yeoh made you go, wow, but there was moments in it that made you really go, wow, right? And based on that, I'm giving it to Michelle Yeoh. Yeah. I hope she wins. Best Director: Todd Field for Tar, Daniels for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Martin McDonagh, Steven Spielberg, and Ruben Östlund. Best Director, I think, is going to Banshees. It could be the Daniels, though. So hard. And then, yeah, Best Picture. Guys, I think you know where I'm landing on this. Best Picture is going to Banshees. And because of that, I think that's why Banshees wins for Director. But it could be easily Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think it's down between Everything Everywhere All at Once and Banshees is going to win it all. It wouldn't surprise me if All Quiet on the Western Front is up there, but I think Banshees is going to win. Yeah. All right. Those are my picks for the Oscars this year, guys. Come Sunday, we'll have to see how well I fared, if I got things right. Yeah, for sure, some of them are sentimental picks, like for Banshees, but I think that's a nice mix of what we got in there. Each film seems to be somewhat represented, for sure. So come join us Sunday evening, guys, and on the live chat, we'll be watching the Oscars. Okay. Over the last weekend, Keanu Reeves did Ask Me Everything or Anything on Reddit, and people have been picking it apart for juicy little quotes and stuff like that. So I pulled this article and I thought we would just take a look at some of the highlights, because it is kind of interesting, some of the stuff that he said in that Q&A kind of thing. Let's take a look. Keanu Reeves kept some random movie props. Okay, well, that's not that surprising. He kept a sword from 47 Ronin, okay. And the first red pill, okay. I'm sure that red pill didn't disintegrate. Keanu Reeves won't go on Hot Ones. Everybody likes that Hot Ones show. Pedro Pascal was just on the Hot Ones, right? And apparently he won't do it. It's good press. It's kind of entertaining. It's the same thing. They get into like the fourth or fifth one, and then their mouth is just so burnt that they're like breaking down. It's entertaining. I watched a few episodes, like the Gordon Ramsay one. Jenna Ortega was on there too recently, right? Keanu Reeves always wanted to play Wolverine. Really? So yeah, go pay attention to that thread, and you'll figure out some really interesting stuff. No, but I always wanted to play Wolverine, he said. Wow. Could you imagine Keanu as Wolverine? That's just bizarre. If Keanu could pick only 2 movies for a long-haul flight, wow. He would go with A Clockwork Orange and The Wizard of Oz. That's really... Now, you would think that those are 2 different types of films, but I think they're almost in the same ballpark, I would say. So good picks. Good picks. Keanu Reeves wants to work with David Fincher. Well, who doesn't? Fincher. Except for Mank. God, that was such a boring ass film. Fincher. He's normally top class, right? Yeah. So hopefully that would be kind of a cool pairing to see. Fincher, because he did Fight Club and stuff like that. The Game, Social Network. Keanu Reeves has spoken to James Gunn about Constantine 2. Yeah, there were reports out there that perhaps Constantine 2 would get canceled now because James Gunn came in and axed everything. But there's still talks that it could possibly be happening. Who knows? Um, Hopefully sooner rather than later. Yes to me too. It's very cryptic in his response. John Wick Chapter 4 was the most challenging movie for him to shoot. Yeah, well, I heard that too. And that comes out this month too, guys. John Wick Chapter 4. Keanu Reeves likes the idea of John Wick and Equalizer crossover. We talked about that one on Monday, didn't we? Yeah, and that's it. So some interesting quotes that came out of that. So, the final trailer for Super Mario Bros. Reveals extended Rainbow Road sequence. And I like this final trailer. I'm not going to watch it here, guys. It had a lot of the classic music in it that will be familiar to us fans, right? Our hardcore fans. What are those bombs coming after them? Bullets, right? Or bullet bombs or whatever they're called. Bullet bills or whatever. Okay, yeah. I'm still looking forward to this. April 7th is when this comes out. Um, and you heard more of Chris Pratt's voice in it, so I think he's going to be okay. Once people see it, I don't think you're going to even care about his voice once it gets going. You'll be just kind of like, yeah, it's Chris Pratt, but whatever. You did hear him make a few more of the woohoo kind of sounds, right? Which is fine. You're going to be watching it because I think Jack Black is going to steal the show as Bowser. And yeah, final trailer. For some reason, it should have been loading there, but it's not. So, well, whatever. It is what it is. Jennifer Lawrence had a trailer out, and I didn't do a trailer reaction to it because it was raunchy. Jennifer Lawrence tries everything to sleep with her 19-year-old, with a 19-year-old in raunchy No Hard Feelings trailer. And yeah, it was a good trailer. It made me laugh a couple times in it. Jennifer Lawrence took time off to have a kid, had a baby, so she's a mother now. So good for her. We know that she was in that movie. Forgot that it was Causeway last year, right, on Apple TV Plus. But now she's back in a comedy, and it's a very R-rated comedy. If you saw my short for that, that's up on the channels right now, so go check that out. Very raunchy comedy where I guess the parents of this one kid try to hire her to be kind of like a call girl or something, take his virginity or something. That's why it's called No Hard Feelings, because the kid's just not into that kind of thing, I suppose. But as outlandish as that is, who could not be into Jennifer Lawrence? Like, when I saw her in that trailer, my jaw was just yeah. Very rarely do I feel that visceral, carnal instinct as a male in me. But when I saw her in that trailer, I felt it. I felt it. And she's done that to me before. Like in the promos for Passengers, when she's like getting all dressed up to go on that date with Chris Pratt. I saw her and it's just like that feeling came out. It was like Jennifer Lawrence does that to me. I don't get. Hey, we all have our preferences, right? But just jaw dropping. Okay. It looked fun. What was the release date of that? June 23rd. Yeah, very raunchy. So it's R-rated, and that's why I'm not going to watch it. But it looks like it's going to be fun. Chris Schober there says in the live chat, I heard that people on the internet said that they're hoping Nev Campbell is going to be in Scream 7, and Scream 7 is in production already, and it's going to happen this year. Well, I'm sure it's probably already being written by the team of Radio Silence, right? The directors, same directors did 5 and 6. So I'm guessing they're going to get control of the reins for number 7, because I think Scream 6, it's going to make like 70 million this weekend. So, no, like worldwide. It's on track to make like 35 to 40 million, I think, domestically. I think it's even going to do better than that. I hope it does, because Jenna Ortega, wow, wow, and Melissa Barrera, great. They're awesome. All right, let's move into some hit or miss headlines here while we're at it. Rings of Power. Hit or miss is just a, hey, if it's a hit, we'll talk about it. If it's a miss, we'll move on. Rings of Power. Season 2 set photos reveal possible Silmarillion. Sarah Marillion? I always have trouble spitting that word out. Okay, so, yeah, guys, we watched the Rings of Power here on this channel. I reacted to the first season, and I had fun with it. I know that a lot of people out there didn't. These set photos don't really spoil anything, guys. So if you're a hardcore fan, this is where they come from. I don't know which city these are from, but yeah, okay, not too spoilers. We know that it's getting underway, and from early reports, I heard that it's going to be kind of like a soft reboot of it. So, okay, well, how could it possibly be a soft reboot? They just established Mordor, right? So whatever. I liked Galadriel in it. I did. I know a lot of people didn't, because they're saying that that's not the way she would behave. Well, she's developing as a character towards the way she would act in Lord of the Rings movies. Yeah, she's developing towards that, guys. Some people just never caught that, and some people didn't like that, but I liked it. The Rings of Power. Chris Ober says, have you watched the final trailer for Shazam Fury of the Gods? No, I thought there was one, but when I looked at my sources, I couldn't see one. I didn't see a trailer for Shazam Fury of the Gods. Let's just go over to the studio channels for what is Shazam? Shazam Warner Bros? No. Oh, no. Yeah. Shazam would be Warner Bros, right? Yeah. I'm not seeing one here. You got the trailer too. That was a month ago. And if it was official, it would be there. That's where it would be. Not even my amalgamators had put together it. Right? New Line. Maybe it's under New Line. Okay. Let's go to the New Line. Let's confirm. Because you said this the other day too, Chris, and I couldn't see it. It could be a fan made trailer maybe. Let's just take a look at New Lines. Of course, New Line doesn't have one. No, not seeing it. Oh wow. Maybe it's a TV spot you're talking about. All right, what's next? Stranger Things actor Chrissy details alleged misconduct and acting. Yeah, apparently some producer, Grace Van Dien, accused a producer of inappropriate behavior, and that sucks. Yeah, that was a big headline last night. Yeah, so she was like the first girlfriend, right? Or the girlfriend for that guy. Stranger Things season 4. This is the touchy subject. I don't really like to talk about it too much. It's kind of like it sucks. It just got to the point where she didn't want to take any more roles, right? She was turning down roles because she didn't want to work with producers and stuff. I guess she's a streamer, so yeah, as you can see, that word right there, it's kind of gross. I'll root for her though. Hopefully she gets a good positive outcome from this, and that producer gets shown the door from the business. We don't need riffraff like that in here, and I don't want to see people going to bat for people like that either, saying, well, in the past they did this and that and they did good work, but it's only an account, it's only an accusation, but seems pretty legit to me from at least a surface level kind of thing. Um, Robert Blake, talking about controversy, yeah, he's had his share of controversies for sure, right? Robert Blake, um, in Cold Blood and Beretta, dies at 89. Well, he was 89. I remembered him from The Lost Highway. The Lost Highway with Robert Blake there. He was like the VHS man or whatever. The VHS guy there, right there. He was kind of like the devil in that movie or something, or like the spokesperson saying that. Yeah, if you watch The Lost Highway, it's very confusing because there's like it has to deal with time loops and transformations and stuff like that. I liked the movie, but he passed on. He had his controversies too, so that's why it's kind of like a hit or miss for me. What is a hit though is Picard season 3, guys. Episode 4 came out yesterday, and it was probably some of the best Star Trek, probably some of the best TV I've seen. Now that's based on the mythos. That's based on stuff that has come before it, because it paid off some storylines between Picard and Riker. So you had to know some history there. That's where that was like the big payoff, and I'm gonna do a video of it later, like a short of my little reactions to it. But there's like acting. Acting was the standout in Star Trek season 3, episode 4. A real standout acting performance, and it's like you could give Jonathan Frakes an Emmy for this. You can give Patrick Stewart an Emmy for this, right? The Emmys are for TV. It's like the acting is just that good. It's like, wow, holy crap! I didn't expect that in a Star Trek. It's like because they're next tier, man. That's what made them. That's what made the series so good. Is that it's not like these TV actors just doing their stuff. Like, but you know that Patrick Stewart has that extra gear in him because he worked on the stage and films and stuff like that. So he does, and he uses that extra gear in this episode of Star Trek Picard, and it's just like wow, and it makes you so happy when you're watching towards the end, and you're just like. I was like, yes. It's just like, my God, why didn't they do this before? This is what should have been happening in season 1. And if it did, that's what Star Trek is, guys. It's acting and setup and payoff. And they did it brilliantly yesterday. So Chris Schober says, I heard that they are going to make new Lord of the Rings movies, War of Rohirrim release date. Yeah, we know about the War of the Rohirrim. Done a couple of videos on that. It's coming out next year. And yeah, we did Lord of the Rings there on Monday, right? Any more hit or miss? This one caught my eye for selfish reasons. I think this is the last hit or miss, right? Okay, yeah, it is. Kristen Bell actually sing in burlesque? She sung in Frozen and the sequel, right? But she wasn't in that burlesque movie with what was that? Christina Aguilera, right? She was in that. But Kristen Bell was in that as well. I didn't know that. So did she sing in that movie? No, she didn't. But I am a Kristen Bell fan, so I had to check out this this headline. Why she didn't. I guess she was dubbed. Maybe she didn't have the vocal talent. Guys, I'm basically retraining myself, learning how to sing and to use my voice. And I've been finding that, hey, if you're just not trained for it, then yeah, it doesn't sound good. And I've been really trying to pay attention to the way that I talk so that I can preserve my voice for singing, because I do stream for a long time during the day. And just some of the old habits that I was doing to make sounds with my voice was straining it, right? So, hey, it is a hard thing to do. So if she got dubbed, whatever. Yeah. Okay. I've gone through the entire show and I haven't told people what's on the channel and what's going to happen next. So at 1 p.m., we will be watching a horror movie here on the channel. And that's decided in a poll. So if you go over to the community tab and look on the community tab, every Sunday I post the weekly schedule there for people to take a look at, where you can see what's coming up for the week. And next week we'll be watching Batman Returns with Michael Keaton. Maybe we'll be starting the Star Wars movies next week. Maybe. Grumpy Man Watches. I got to put up a poll later on today for that for next Tuesday. So we'll be taking a look at that poll. And then, we watch series like The Last of Us. Encanto was our first Grumpy Man. We had some copyright issues with that, but that's back up on the channel. Scream 5 we watched this week. For Scream 6, we had lots of fun watching that movie for sure. We watched Mandalorian Episode 2 this week. Bo-Katan. Oh my God. I'm in love with that character. I want to see her. I want to see a show all about her, actually, to tell you the truth. Yesterday we watched Batman. That's currently dealing with some copyright issues that I'm trying to correct right now. So hopefully that'll be back up later on today. Yesterday we watched Survivor Season 44, Episode 2, and that was a real zinger. That was a real, wow. Great episode. We watched Banshees of Inisherin as well, getting ready for the Oscars. So later on today, in just over an hour, guys, we'll be watching one of these movies, and it hasn't been decided yet. It's either going to be The Ritual, The Menu, or The Night House. It's a poll up in the community tab. So people have been voting, and we'll take a look at the results here in just a minute. On Saturdays, we do the Horror Weekly Roundup. This Saturday, we'll be talking about Scream 6 spoilers. So tomorrow morning, guys, come join us. We'll be talking about Scream 6 spoilers and 65 with Adam Driver. So we'll be talking about those two movies. And, of course, we do movie news there Mondays and Fridays. I'm thinking I got to make an announcement here, too, about changing up some of the formatting, too. But let's go over and take a look at that poll. Where do things sit right now? So The Ritual, it's not going to be The Ritual. It's not going to be my Monster in the Woods movie. But it looks, for some reason, it's going to be The Night House, which takes me by surprise. I'm going to refresh the page here. It does take me by surprise because for the longest time, The Menu was in the lead. So by only a fraction of a hair, The Night House is leading. And that's fine by me too. Guys, I may be doing something quirky tomorrow anyway. And hey, if I got some free time tomorrow afternoon, because it looks like we might get snowed in, we may go ahead and watch The Menu anyway tomorrow if we watch The Night House. And it looks like that's what's going to happen. I'm going to call it. I'm calling it right now. We're watching The Night House at 1 p.m. So I will post the live link after I have my breakfast here. And we'll be watching The Night House. Voted by you guys, fans out there in the poll. The Menu, we'll get to it. Don't worry. I'll sneak it in there somewhere. Because I want to. It's my channel. I can do whatever I want to anyway. So we'll be watching those two movies regardless. And somewhere along the lines, I do want to get into watch that Ritual. I do. Okay, so Chris Schober says in live chat, I really enjoyed the Whodunit Season 1. Okay, yeah. You should check out Whodunit. All right. Death in Paradise yesterday. Really? Okay, yeah. Really. Death in Paradise. It's like, yeah. It's been, I've just been so busy, guys. Hey, yesterday was a huge busy day. And today's going to be no different because I'm going to go up to be seeing 65 later on anyway. So, busy times. Let's round things up. Got 2 minutes. Let's see if anything has popped up on the old film updates. See if something has changed. Scream 6 has made 5.7 from Thursday night previews. Almost double that of last year's Scream 5. Okay, good. So people went out to see it. It wasn't too busy in the because I saw it at the 5 o'clock show yesterday. So yeah, it's expected to make 35 to 40 million on the domestic box office, which will put it in the number one spot. But worldwide, I think it's going to make around 70 million, which is good. It's good because they need to make more. Yeah, Scream 6 leaves you wanting more. It does. Kudos. Good for them. Good for them. And I'm hoping a lot of people go and see it this weekend. Melissa Barrera to star in rom-com Your Monster. It follows an inspiring actress who falls apart after a cancer diagnosis. Oh, bummer. And devastating breakup. She finds her voice again when she meets a terrifying yet weirdly charming monster living in her closet. And Melissa Barrera, right there, I was looking at her yesterday, and for some reason, I was thinking Wonder Woman. I was looking at Melissa Barrera, and when you watch Scream 6, have that thought in the back of your mind of her as the new Wonder Woman. Because, in the DC is getting their reboot, right? And they're going to go with maybe a younger Wonder Woman, and it's not going to be Gal Gadot anymore. That would be cool if she was. I could totally see her as the new Wonder Woman. She could do it. She could do it. What's next? Something casual, whatever. Potential TV series for the endless. Danny Ramirez. Andy Serkis says he would return for any future Lord of the Rings movies if Peter Jackson is involved. If Peter Jackson is involved, okay? So he said, I would, of course, jump at the chance to have the relationship rekindled. Middle-earth has never left me. Well, that's cool to hear. I don't know. I think Gollum has pretty much run his course, right? He died. What else more could you do with him? But that doesn't mean that he can't be back in some other fashion. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is now streaming on Peacock. Okay, that's where it is. It's on Peacock. One of Us, The Vampire Diaries, 6 years ago. Jenna Ortega was on the Jimmy Fallon show. Shrinking. All right. Jenna Ortega is in talks to role for Beetlejuice 2. Would play the daughter of Lydia. The daughter of Winona Ryder. Wow. Okay, well, yeah, that sort of makes sense. Jennifer Lawrence is trending worldwide, and for just cause, guys. As I said again, just looking at her, amazing. Okay, so that's it for me today, guys. Join us in an hour for watching The Night House, and then I'll be publishing some. I'll be breaking out my Scream 6 review from this video and posting it up on the channel later. Come tomorrow to watch some Scream 6 spoilers, and maybe we'll be watching The Menu. Maybe, who knows? And yeah, it'll be a great weekend. Enjoy your weekend, guys. Hopefully you're not going to get bogged down in this snowstorm that seems to have plagued us. I don't know if I can show that to you guys. Probably not. It's yeah, that screws up my white balance. I'd have to really turn down the ISO. Oh well. It is. Just take my word for it. It's snowing outside. All right, that's it for me. Hit that thumbs up button, guys. Subscribe. Enjoy your weekend. There you go. See you in a little bit for The Night House. Oh, and later on today, my straight out of the theater reaction for 65.